Hello, Project Wargaming. Back with an update. Actually, a new project that I'm gonna start working on. Kind of new, I guess, because I've already done this project once. But probably about 6 years ago, I took the Game of Thrones board game that Fantasy Flight produced, and I turned it into a 3D tabletop. Um, I have lots of friends that we get together and play this a lot, and I also took it to Gen Con all the time. And so it's been a great game, been a lot of fun playing it, and I want to continue to do so. But they came out with a new edition, and the new edition expands it out to Essos, and then also adds in another house up there in the Erie, House Aaron. So there's enough difference on the board that I'm going to change it up a bit. Some of you might have even seen this in person or got to play on it. Just a couple things I think that I'm going to do different. I like, obviously, the color. Anytime you can have shiny blue, it's always going to draw people over. I have a lot of the same old molds and stuff that I'll be using. Certainly, like the crowns and the barrels. And then the name tags, those are easy to cast up more of. I'm probably going to do something different here with the castles and keeps or strongholds, because they've added in a new mechanism where you can actually destroy or build up some of these castles and keeps. So I need to add in a new mechanism. Also, I still have the ports. So a lot of those are just molds that I made and cast. Same thing with the rocks. These are kind of my own little rocks, and then the smoother ones down in through here I think are woodland seeding molds that I used. Plan is to basically redo this. I'm going to do practically the same thing. I'm going to have a layer underneath that's going to have just the wider or the brighter border for the territories, and then I'm going to cut out the territories themselves and then actually glue them on. The way that I did this board earlier was I actually glued everything on, and then I came in and put the materials on top of the board. But this time around, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the pieces and flock them and get them all straightened away, because in a couple of sections, like up here between these two areas, you can see that I really lost track of where the boundary is, and so it's just a little hard. Also, we have the river boundaries down here, so some people kind of question whether or not this sea zone went all the way up into this territory. So just make that a little bit more clear on the board itself. And go from there. So the pieces that you get in the game are just like little plastic tokens. But these are what I did. I just took some 15 millimeter Corvus Belli 100-year war figures, which they don't make anymore, unfortunately. And I just painted them up. I cast my own siege engines there, so I still got the mold for those. So just takes a couple more of them, and then these are the little tokens for keeping track of the Iron Throne and the fiefdom track and the Raven track and all that stuff. So just need to make just a couple more of those because House Aaron and the Targaryens are what gets added. So just add those in. But the hardest thing about this is taking it and making it bigger. And so it's kind of, you could do it freehand, I guess, but it'd be pretty tough. So the only way that I found to do it is to make a copy of the game board and then double that out. And then this actually gets destroyed during the process of making it. But then it also allows me to lay out kind of where I'm going to put the tracks, because right now the individual tracks for parts of the games are separate, and I think I can just make it cleaner. So the overall size of the board is going to be about the same square footage as this one, but it's going to be 3x4. This one is a little bit longer than it is wider, and this one's going to be a little bit wider and not quite as long. So I have more table edge over here to put the tracks on. And so I'm just going to incorporate those into the overall design, which will make it easier for transportation. That's the idea. Once I get the boards cut out and stuff like that, then I will take scissors and cut these up and give me the overall size for that. And then from there, I'll take the individual areas and cut those out, and then cut them out on cardboard or whatever it is I'm going to use. So that's the idea to do that. So I love the game. It's a pretty fun game. My friends and I get together probably every month and a half or so and play it, and sometimes we got 6-7 guys who are able to do it. So it's pretty fun. But just love this. But now that they've got the expansion, I want to expand it out myself. So I'll give you just up-to-date process and how I do the various things and do that. There's been lots of people ask how I've done this, and so I'll put these videos on there, and hopefully Fantasy Flight and or Osmodee doesn't ask me to take them down. I guess if they do, then that's completely fine. It is their IP. So this is how I kind of go through and make my own, take a board game and make it 3-dimensional and really a lot more fun to play. So lots of people have said that once they play on this, it's kind of hard to go back to the old way. So I agree, but that's it. So pretty cool project. So I'll just be working over it in the next couple months, probably getting it all straightened away, and then hopefully it helps you guys at home if you wanted to take a board game and make it into a 3-dimensional thing, then that would work too. One of the other sets of games that I've thought about doing is the Academy games, the 1775 and the Vikings. Those would be pretty cool games to make 3-dimensional as well. So I don't know, I might do that in the future, but that's it. Talk to you later.